This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2016, all rights reserved. One Kiss, a short story by Martha Sweeney from the Because Beards anthology. Read to you by the author. Chapter 8, Reece. Dr. Langford, one of the nurses calls as I inspect a chart outside of a room. Yes, I reply, keeping my eyes down on the iPad I'm using to call up patient files. Fifi is in room 3, she informs. Great, I reply. Her owner has been here for about 20 minutes already, the nurse states. Might want to get to her first since she's a little concerned with the pregnancy. Thank you. I finish making notes, hit save, and then call up Fifi's information after clicking the schedule listed on the calendar. I review the files and the recent notes that were typed in from the call Mrs. Donahue made this morning for her appointment. The office, where I've been working for the past 6 months, has always been busy. We do leave spots open for emergencies, but our time is usually limited with them since we're always so busy. The practice actually needs to hire at least another doctor to handle the constant flux of patients coming in and out on a daily basis, aside from a few other staff members. They are interviewing, but from the looks of it, no one is promising yet. After checking Fifi's vitals and noticing that her eyes lack moisture and her mouth, gums, and nose feel a bit dry, I give her water, a lot of water, and wait to run a quick urine test. From what Mrs. Donahue has told me, and from the looks of Fifi's symptoms, Fifi appears to be a little dehydrated. Knowing it'll take a few minutes, I direct one of the nurses to let me know as soon as the test is complete. I use the restroom really quick before heading to the next patient. So, Mrs. Reagan, I greet, keeping my eyes fixed on the iPad I'm holding as I open and close the door. How's Mr. Darcy doing today? The only sound I hear is a cat meow followed by a faint purr after a few seconds of silence. When I don't get a reply, I look up. Ms. I pause, awestruck by the sight in front of me. I'm not sure what happens next, but the sound of the door opening paired with the nurse calling my name snaps me back to the present. I'm sorry, Dr. Langford, she apologizes. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I turn to look at Nurse Hannigan. It's okay. What is it? Fifi's results are negative, she informs me. That was quick, I reply. Great, thank you. You're welcome, Nurse Hannigan says. After a short pause, she adds, would you like me to tell Fifi's owner that you'll be a minute? Yes, please let Mrs. Donahue know I'll be right in. Sure thing, Doctor, Nurse Hannigan confirms and then leaves the room, closing the door behind her. I turn sharply to find my Cinderella staring at me. Her eyes are wide and her mouth is still hanging open. I'll be right back. Please, stay right here, I instruct rather than request. She nods slightly. I rush out the door, quickly closing it behind me. Before I move away, I ask Nurse Hannigan to make sure that no one leaves room 5. She offers a small but odd smile and nods her understanding. There's no way in hell I'm going to allow this woman to walk out of my life again. Time seems to tick by exhaustingly slow as I inform Mrs. Donahue that Fifi is just a little dehydrated and needs to drink a little extra water. I recommend having her eat some celery or watermelon to help, which have additional nutrients that will be beneficial to her and the puppies. It feels like it takes forever to get Mrs. Donahue to stop talking or asking me questions. She continues to speak as I escort her out of the room and down the hall to the waiting room. I appreciate the praise she's giving me in front of the other patients' owners who are waiting to be called, but this woman is tiresome and I need her to let me get back to the beauty in room 5. Standing in front of the door, I take a few deep breaths before opening it. A reassuring smile finds my face when I hear Cinderella chatting away on the other side, obviously talking to Mr. Darcy from some of the words I catch. I check my breath, run my fingers through my hair, and scratch my beard to make sure there's nothing on it from Fifi, then knock, which is quickly followed by me opening the door. Cinderella bolts to a standing position and then adjusts her clothing and hair. The two of us stand still, not saying a single word as we hold each other's gaze. I glance back down at the chart to catch her name so I don't sound stupid when I go to speak. I take 3 large steps towards her, surround her soft cheeks with my large hands, and lower my lips to hers, imitating the beginning of our kiss from New Year's. She quickly returns the embrace, matching my tongue movements as her one hand curls into my hair. Her free hand cups my chin and her fingers gently rub back and forth over my beard, almost like she's petting it. I'm not sure how long we kiss, but it's long enough that both of us are panting and I'm not willing to let her go anytime soon. Eris. That's not my name, she interrupts. But the chart says, my roommate, the one who kissed your friend, is Eris, Reagan, she informs. Oh, I reply, clearing my throat. I suddenly feel nervous keeping her in my arms, but I'm afraid that if I let her go, she'll disappear. She offers a reassuring smile as if she's just read my thoughts. I'm not letting you leave here until you tell me your name, I inform. A sexy blush pops over her cheeks. She bites her bottom lip momentarily before saying, Harper. Reece, I reply. Dr. Reece Langford. Nice to meet you, she replies. Again, I add. Just a few seconds later, my lips are back on hers. I've got a raging hard-on that she can probably feel on her belly. We kiss for what feels like only seconds, but I know it's longer than that thanks to all of the images of things I'd like to do to her flash through my mind. Are you going to check on Mr. Darcy? She asks after I let her mouth go for a few seconds. Shit, I curse under my breath. Harper giggles. Once you tell me your full name, I state. What? Why? She laughs nervously. So after today, it's that much easier to find you, I confess. Her brows lift, but she doesn't say anything. I haven't stopped thinking about you since New Year's, I admit, and I haven't stopped trying to find you since seeing you in the subway. She looks down timidly for a second before her eyes return to mine. Harper Collins. That's a cute name, I praise, kissing her again. Thanks, Harper replies in between breaths. Why does that sound familiar? A look of dread creeps onto her face. My head tilts to the side, as in... Harper doesn't answer or ask to what I'm referring. As in the publishing company? I check. Yes, she huffs. My mom thought it was cute. I think it is, I comment, pulling her closer. You think that it's cute? She asks with a shocked tone and expression. Yes, I confirm with a smile. Harper shakes her head. I don't. Well, I do, I return confidently, kissing her nose. Not, she denounces with a smirk. It was worse when my mom actually worked for them. How long did she work for them? I inquire. Harper lets out a long sigh. 10 years, when I was little. Where did she go after that? Penguin gave her a better deal, she shares. Deal? As in is an author? No, Harper replies, as in an executive editor. Oh. Mr. Darcy, she reminds. Oh, right, I chuckle, forgetting for the second time where I am. We gradually move apart, fixing our shirts as I grab some of the equipment needed to check the patient. So, how long have you been a vet? Harper asks. 5 years, I reply. Who named him Mr. Darcy? Eris, she confirms. A fan of Pride and Prejudice, I see, I comment. How do you know about that? She asks speculatively. I've got 2 older sisters, I return. Them and my mom watch it every year in November. Harper smiles, and all I want to do is kiss her again. Strike that. I want to do more than just kiss her. Oddly, it's taking longer than usual for the blood in my dick to subside. We're both quiet as I continue to inspect Mr. Darcy. We catch each other's gaze off and on, causing us to just smile and Harper to blush occasionally. Well, I say, he's healthy. Good, Harper replies. However, I begin. However, Harper asks nervously. However, I repeat with a smile. I can't give him a clean bill of health until you agree to have lunch with me. Lunch? She repeats. Yes, lunch, I confirm. Along with your phone number. Getting a little daring, aren't you, Doc? She returns with a grin. Yes, I confirm. I'm known to be many things. Really, she giggles. Really. On one condition, Harper states. Name it, I encourage. We go to my favorite place that's nearby, she informs. Done, I say quickly. And, she begins, you seriously consider hiring my friend for the night position. Done, I agree. Wait, which friend? I look down at the iPad. Eris? No, Harper giggles. Then who? You'll meet him, she mentions. Him? I ask. Yep. Him as in boyfriend, I ask nervously. No, she replies with a giggle. Then consider it done, I agree. I've got one more patient before I'm clear to go. Okay. Will you wait for me, or am I going to have to hunt you down? I check. Well, she returns with a sexy smile. Seeing that you know my name, even if you don't believe it is my name, you do have access to where Mr. Darcy lives, which is also where I live. You could be lying about living with him, I challenge playfully. True, she replies, but you do have access to my friend's home address and phone number. Her head nods slightly towards my iPad. So, if I did run, it wouldn't be too hard to find me. I take a few steps toward her and yank on the edge of her jacket after placing Mr. Darcy into his cage. Just give me 15 minutes. Done, she replies, sealing it with a kiss. This is the end of One Kiss, a short story by Martha Sweeney. I hope you enjoyed the story. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter to find out about new releases before the general public. You'll find a link in the description below. Also, if you enjoyed this story, make sure you subscribe to my channel to know when the next book is published. Thanks for listening.